The following podcast is intended for mature audiences. If you enjoy our work, please like, comment, subscribe, and follow the links in the description. Thanks for your support, and enjoy. Greetings and salutations, listener. It is I, Eric J. Chucky, joined, as always, by my fellow slinger of dice, the boy.
Hey!
This is the Two Nerds Podcast. Before we get started, I started a Patreon, link in the description. I'm really only asking for $10 a month, and that's not too bad. So if you like what we do, consider making a click and doing that shit up. So,
seriously, that would be super nice of you.
Yeah.
Just point it out.
All the details about what and why are in there, and I'll probably make a video at some point. But we do have one more thing we want to clear up before we proceed with today's topic.
Which you may be able to tell from the title, but this is bears mentioning. It's something we really do want to comment on. Would you like to start, or should I?
No, please. I think it's more personal to you.
I fucking told you so. Motherfuckers, I knew Batman and the Infinite Sadness was gonna be awful. I knew it. I called it. He called it. I'm pointing at White, just in case that wasn't clear. This is an audio podcast. And lo and fucking behold, for once, basically the entire internet agrees with me. The movie's bad, you guys. It's bad for all the reasons that we said it was gonna be bad. I haven't even seen it, and I don't need to. Because literally every reason I said it was gonna be bad, and some I didn't think about, were all agreed to by basically, I would say, roughly 80% of the internet. That is an astonishing amount of agreement from the internet.
And just like we said as well, the action scenes are really good and fun.
Yeah, everyone agrees on that.
Not enough to carry a fucking movie. It's Man of Steel, but there are more people to offend and more shit to fuck up.
And, they fucked up the shit they fucked up worse.
So they did. But, we didn't want to do a full podcast on it. A, because we haven't seen the film.
And are not gonna.
Right. And B, because, good God, we have kvetched enough about this movie. Just time to put a couple kryptonite nails in that coffin.
And C, look, honestly, I don't want to watch this movie. It looks like ass. Everyone agrees it's ass. But I want it to do well. That sounds weird, like I'm trying to... I hope for the best for my abusive ex or whatever. But, I want it to do well because I want Shazam and Aquaman and Wonder Woman, and those don't happen if this movie doesn't make its money back.
Now whose CDs are in whose car?
Yeah, basically.
Moving away from that, we told you guys last week we were going to be moving into, a news format.
Here's the problem. Batman and the Infinite Sadness is pretty much all the news.
Yeah, I mean, there was a couple of, headlines, but nothing to discuss. It was more like, hey, have you guys not paid attention to the right side of your Facebook in a while? Well, don't worry, here we are.
And, it was all stuff it was basically all a series of, so Batman and Superman, what happened?
And a bunch of stuff like, oh, this is a thing. Oh, this is a thing. Oh, here's this thing too.
And it's all really cool stuff. Well, mostly, but
it's just not worth.
It's not things that
there's nothing to discuss. Like what I mentioned specifically to you. They're remastering Turok for the Xbox One.
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah, good. IDW's making a new Ninja Turtle series.
Cool.
These are all okay. Those are things that are happening, but I'm not hype and I'm not unhype about them. So who cares? Now that we've gotten that out of the way, both doing our very petty, well, mostly my very petty little I was right dance, and explaining why that was the only thing available to us. Let's move on to the actual topic. Role-playing!
Yeah, role-playing.
Throwing dice and having fun and being positive like the Two Nerds Podcast prefers.
Well, we haven't talked about it in a little while. It's been a lot of video game stuff lately, a lot of PC gaming stuff lately, so I figured let's return to our pen and paper roots. To a topic we've covered a couple of times, I'm sure, in dribs and drabs here and there, but that I'd like to look at with a little more of a focused lens.
I'm almost certain, personally, that we've probably covered this before, but let's be real, there's like 101 podcasts now, so I'm not fucking listening to them all to make sure. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I think we have to. The specific topic that we're starting with anyway, it's us, you know how this goes, is role-playing character creation. And I feel like there's things I could say about it that I haven't said before. Because I will say I have gone back through our podcasts and gone, we've talked about this before. I don't know if it really bears mentioning. And looked and like actually listened to the podcast and realized that, man, we didn't cover shit.
No, dude, we
there have been weeks where we finished a podcast and I was like, there was so much more to talk about there.
Yeah.
So, I'm pretty comfortable. We'll call this, character creation 2. If
just,
there was
just
never
in
a
case.
first one, if there was never a first one, even better.
Yeah.
Because it'll keep you guys looking.
Oh, we're dicks to the listener.
Yeah, Ultimo understands. He's had all those titles and we haven't, so.
We're sour grapes is all.
Yeah. So character creation, which is I remember the last time, actually, I think we talked about this, was I was trying to make some characters, and I just was scraping the bottom of the fucking barrel. But, less, like, I don't know, hardcore inspiration and more softcore inspiration?
I don't like that. Maybe not that.
I like to roll the dice above the table. And just show a little tasteful side boob.
Fucking weirdo.
Woo! 6.5 minutes down. Alright.
Dude, that's a little too far behind the curtain. Kayfabe, be cool, okay?
Oh, fuck. Why don't you tell me about the first character you remember rolling? This will be a new, fresh approach. We've talked about first characters before, but like that first experience of rolling a character, why don't you tell me about it? Can you like harken back to it?
Oh, shit.
If you need a minute, I can talk about mine.
Yeah, go for it.
Alright, so, I had never played D&D before, and as I think I might have talked about before, I had the Dungeon Master's Guide equivalent. It was like the Adventure Rules, I think it was, the Blue Book. For advanced D&D. But I didn't have the red one. So I had, like, some stuff, but, like, not all of it. Not stats. Not how to get stats. So a friend of mine was like, oh, you got this shit? That's cool. And I was like, yeah, I'd love to play, but I think I'm missing some stuff. He's like, nah, we can figure it out. So I rolled up a whole party of adventurers. I remember arguing with him about the definition of the word constitution, because I was, in fucking, I suppose it was early high school, but I was a freshman, so the only constitution I'd ever heard of was, the United States Constitution. I'm like, I don't think that's what that word means, man. It's like, no way, it is. And I had the worst array of characters that were just like visual concepts in my mind with dumbass throwaway names that I didn't know what the fuck I was doing. I had a dwarf. I had a halfling, because there were no race class combinations back then. I had a wizard and a cleric. And then he had an NPC elf for just in case, which we needed. And for whatever reason, my dwarf became the party face. But, I don't even remember. I remember I kind of based my wizard on Kefka in that they had the same name and both used magic, but that was about where the similarities ended. Because I think he was even like an old man in brown robes with a beard. And my...
To be fair, if Kefka wasn't Kefka, that'd be a great wizard name.
Sure. Yeah, it's a good name.
Especially with the last name Palazzo. Kefka Palazzo! Enchanter extraordinaire! Yeah, that would work if he wasn't already Kefka.
Fun Kefka fact. The last name Palazzo, is an Italian. It means castle. But it's a double L. So if you pronounced it the way you would in other, Latin origin languages as payaso, it becomes the Spanish word for clown. This has been a fun Kefka fact with Whitey.
It was a fun fact.
I actually, the little pull back behind the curtain, I want to do a series on fighting games. Because I have this weird obsession. I think some of the most interesting shit comes out of fighting games. Like their character rosters and their stages, and like looking at it and wondering why. And like exploring the fucking rich backstories they sometimes put into this shit. Someday, YouTube, someday. But for now, and my cleric had a basis in the white mage from Final Fantasy, in that he had white robes and red hair.
That's great.
That's it. That's all I had. It was fun. I had fun on my first adventure.
No one's first idea is an original one.
No, God, no. I made my dwarf was so fucking like
he was Gimli.
Not even. Because I'd read The Hobbit by then, but I'd finished Lord of the Rings because I was out of middle school. So
but you read The Hobbit first, thus like tainting your entire view of dwarves.
Well, I like Thorin. Like the other 12 guys.
Biffer, Bomber, Bilber, Blobber.
No, they weren't. Boober.
Boober. Feely, Keely, Mealy, and Wheelie. I like Wheelie the best.
Oh, it reminds me of the fake Grand Theft Auto cover. Oh, fuck.
Steely Wheelie.
Automobile. This is the best podcast ever.
Fuck.
If we put this podcast as a series of photos on the desk of J. Jonah Jameson, he would eat his cigar and then punch us with the ashes. Fuck.
Oh, there's no pictures of Spider-Man in our podcast. That's true. Did you hear he's going to be Commissioner Gordon?
Pictures of, I did. I like that, actually.
Yeah, I think he's going to do great. I'm going to miss him as J. Jonah, but like...
That man has said he will always accept the role of J. Jonah Jameson if it's offered to him.
Marvel, get on that. Get on that. Steal an actor from the DCU. Do it.
Steal him back.
Steal him back for glorious Spider-Man.
That guy's the only fucking J. Jonah Jameson.
He is J. Like, you can't... Look, like, Amazing Spider-Man didn't have one. He was a nameplate. They never showed him on camera because they didn't hire that guy and knew they couldn't top him.
Can you imagine if they put him as mayor, governor, J. Jonah Jameson in SpiderGwen as a movie? How awesome he would be!
Spider-Man movie pulse.
Oh, man. I mean, she's getting popular. She's, like, starting to be the next Deadpool, the next Wolverine.
Good! Spider-Man's cool. Like, Spider-Gwen movie pulse. You want girl Spider-Man? You do not need to make Petra Parker or whatever. There's one available already. Gwen Stacy.
Well, she's relatively new, even. See, we like new stuff sometimes, listener.
Yeah, we're not grognards. I actually enjoy things that are new also.
But yeah, my dwarf wasn't even, like, he was just the most stereotypical dwarf you could have come up with. Like, has axe, has shield, has horned helmet, big bushy beard. Except, like, I don't want to say he was a proto-cult reading, because I say that about a lot of characters, but he had a very similar mindset and accent.
You played a Texan dwarf?
He was, like, very curious. Yeah, those are your two options for dwarf. Your dwarves are either Scottish or Texan. Those are the choices.
You've added one more choice than the rest of us have.
Well, in my world, those are the two choices. Fuck you.
I'm fucking sitting here baffled.
Look. Look,
it would be like, look, you only have two ways you can play elves, okay? You can play them as French.
Fuck it. My next elf is gonna be French as shit. No, I haven't mastered my French accent yet. It kind of... It's like...
because it's not outside the realm of possibility. French elf, Texan dwarf, very gruff dwarf, very fancy, snooty elf, yeah. I get it. Like, it makes sense for both, but not really, though.
But that goes against the stereotype I've erected in my head. And I can't handle that.
It's not just that it goes against the stereotype, it's that it's a fucking weird choice.
Look at fucking Sid Haig And you tell me that man isn't just a really tall dwarf. He plays the drums. He's upset about things. He's very tired.
Do you think dwarves are just old people?
Are they not? Dwarves like money, sitting around, hard work when other people are doing it, or when they can shame other people about not doing it.
Or when
tradition,
they do
it. When they can brag about it.
Yeah.
War. Dwarves are just old people.
So you're saying, like, fucking... You're saying Moria was just one big Stormfront homepage before it crashed?
Crazy guys with conspiracy theories getting the gold madness, man. It's
fucking fund it. Fund it. A whole new world has been opened to me, listener. A new vista. I've known this asshole for a decade, and I'm just now getting this.
Shit, man. I don't know what to tell you.
Fuck.
So your first character you rolled. Let's talk about that.
There's a couple different things that could mean for me. Like, the first role-playing game sort of character I played was a wrestler, actually, in, like, a wrestling thing. I would hesitate to call it an RPG. It was, like, a step more systematic than playing pretend.
So like wrestling?
Hey! Basically. I was 12, I had a trampoline. Look, it is what it is.
I was 16, I had a sex swing, you know how it goes. That's why I invented the character of Leopold, the daring acrobat.
No, dude, backyard wrestling.
Oh, sometimes they do that on trampolines.
Yeah. Usually actually that or like a really shitty makeshift ring that's like 5 feet by 5 feet and looks sad. Looks like something Andre the Giant comes out to the ring
on. A
on.
lot of the times they just do it on like mattresses.
Yeah, and mattresses and light tubes.
Yeah. Maybe we shouldn't have used the mattresses we intended to sleep on because I've got a lot of tube shards in my back now.
Shut up, pussy. And then, wait, why was it Hank Hill?
Why was it really verbally abusive, Hank Hill?
What the fuck?
Do you want to get paid or do you want to sleep well?
That's right. Verbally abusive Hank Hill, I think, is a new character for Two Nerds Get roster for the podcast.
Oh, fuck.
Fuck it anyway.
This is fucking podcast. High-notch quality top entertainment.
Fuck you, we're having a good time.
I am, yeah. It's good.
But
I don't give a shit.
The first character I would say, like, that I actually rolled up and played for any length of time. It's gonna sting, internet. It's gonna hurt. You ready? You ain't ready. You ready?
I mean, I'm ready.
It was a character who my DM at the time was nice enough to make a class for me because I
remember this.
Because I asked for it. Not like in specific, but like I thought it'd be really cool if I could have a character who did something like this. I was really just pitching an idea, like, is there a character class that can do anything like this? What I didn't know was I was trying to ask to play a wizard, but I didn't know that at the time. He was like, you know what? I'll just make that a class. So I got to play essentially Alphonse Elric from Fullmetal Alchemist.
Like with the big armor and everything?
No. I looked more like Edward, but I had to like draw the circles.
Oh, you had okay.
Like, I eventually got the clappy gloves. Mm-hmm. Gloves that let me just manifest circles by clapping. Gloves. Yeah. Gloves that let me manifest circles by clapping instead of having to draw them out.
Right.
But, but, and I say Alphonse because that's more the character I was playing.
Yeah, just innocent and...
Just nice, like a nice trying to help guy.
Like Samwise?
Yeah. Who was an alchemist.
Did you drop an Eve?
I ain't been dropping no Eves. My whole life, I ain't been dropping no Eves. Fucking Samwise about to drop the fucking hottest album of 2016. Fucking whole life ain't been dropping no Eves. He ain't no snitch. You see how it be?
This and other Tumblr greatest hits in the Two Nerds musical collection. Buy now on Patreon, $10. But see, this launches me into another completely legitimate discussion that deserves better than this podcast.
Fuck you, we're having a good time.
I'm having a great time.
I thought this was going to be the least fun podcast ever. And it turns out this is the best.
The special Snowflake thing. And I hate... Me as a player, let me give you this preface here, listener. I'm so tired of playing the same shit over and over and over again. Because, as we've talked about before, I have something of alt-itis. I'm in denial about my severe alt-itis.
There you go.
And I would like to keep it that way.
This is a safe space. No one's judging you.
So, well...
That's not true. I'm judging him.
And if you judge me, just comment below. Please and thank you. For $1 a month, I will call you, and you can judge me right to my own ears.
No, he won't do that. Well, don't tell the internet that.
I don't know. I mean, like, $1, 60 seconds.
Man, you're the cheapest phone text operator in history.
Hey, man, I got what you need. I can put a motherfucker on mute for a minute. It's hot. It's live. It's now. I'm doughy and sad, and I live on the internet. Tell me how much I suck. 99 cents a minute. But, I'm so tired of playing the basic shit, but I also don't want someone, the DM, to go out of their way to make me a shit. And if I am playing something special, I don't want to necessarily be, and I've played with these guys before. There's a difference between, yeah, I'm rolling kind of a specialty class, I made it up, the DM okayed it, you know, but you wouldn't notice if I didn't say anything. Or, yeah, I'm playing a slightly different breed of elf. You know, they have this backstory. It's something the DM I cooked up to be more a part of this world.
Actually, as a DM, I sort of prefer that, to be honest.
Sure. And then there's, you know, okay, everyone is sitting in the tavern when suddenly the doors burst open, and with two glittering pikes with a mane of hair that shimmers from red to blue, and eyes that sparkle different colors every time they blink, enters Estradios, the drow, half-fey tiefling.
The pike's names are Glimmerkling and I think probably...
Samsonite.
No, I was thinking like Shardfang.
No, I like Samsonite. And, yeah, and the specialty class is a dual berserker, I'm trying to think of something that's asinine that Penny Arcade hasn't already used.
Good luck.
Swordsard. A dual berserker swordsard. And,
fucking
as a character flaw, they have an enormously large and weighty penis.
Weighty, both physically and emotionally.
I mean, it gives them a +2 to strength, but if somebody sees it, they have to make a will save or faint. And that's really inconvenient when you're trying to have sex. Or is it? And that's the kind of guy who usually runs those characters. Which is why I don't like being the, you know, hey, I was thinking about playing this. Oh, I can make that for you. Don't make me a thing. Don't make me a fucking thing. I don't want to be special. Look, isn't there just something in here that isn't elf, dwarf, human, halfling, gnome?
He reacts to you going, oh no, we can work something out. We can work something out. You know, we can do something like that. That's a cool idea. I like that idea. I can probably help you with that as the DM. He reacts to that like you, repellent homeless person, just offered him sexual favors.
Not even. I'd just politely be like, no, thank you.
But like then you got insistent about them.
Yeah, I just like it smells like trap, and I don't want to step into it. Thanks. Like more so if like really well-to-do person walked up and offered me sexual favors. I don't think so. No.
Nope.
Like, if that hobo did it, I'd be slightly more inclined. I'd still say no, but at least I'd trust him. I know what his intentions are. He just wants crack. I do. No, that's fucked up. Get out of here. Now, I know there are plenty of homeless people who don't just want crack. That's an unfair stereotype.
Look, some of them do.
They do.
Like
the hobo in our story, he does want crack.
Yes.
But if you happen to be homeless while listening to this podcast, which is why you're not donating to my Patreon.
Which, understandable.
Yeah,
I mean,
sure.
Priorities.
On the streets. And if you were offended by that, not all hobos. I understand. I get it.
Move on. Oh.
Shit, man. What about you? Do you like when people make special shit for you?
I don't mind it.
Like, you're like...
I honestly have never minded it. It's not like something like, if you don't make special shit for me, I will find shit to play. However, if I have an idea and you like that idea and you want to, and like, we can work together on that, that's cool too. Like, both are cool. I have no problem with either one, to be honest. I never really have. It's probably partly due to the fact that, let's be honest, at this point, the vast majority of my role-playing career, like with maybe like 1 or 1.5 years, I would say all told, on one end, and then, however long I've known you on the other, has been with you as my DM.
Sure.
And you make role-playing game systems. So if I had a problem with you making stuff for me to play, I would be in a real fucking tough spot, okay?
And I guess that's a weird place that I find that difference. Like, if I was playing in somebody's homebrew campaign, that they had, like, set up something that happened to appeal to me.
That's fine.
It's not like I would be like, oh, no, I like this, so I shouldn't play it.
It's more that if they hadn't set up anything to appeal to you, and even though it's a homebrew campaign, you will not let them then set up something that appeals to you.
Yeah. I mean, like, even if it's in the game, I'd be like, no, what about, I notice you have these hamster men, and that sounds really interesting. Well, I don't have any stats for them, but I can whip them up for you. No, don't.
He reacts like a predator's nearby.
I'll play one of your bland humans who are like humans blander. That's fine. I'll play that race.
Oh.
What classes they can be? Oh, fighter. Good. That's my favorite.
Fucking, I have this bard rogue that I haven't finished up the stats for, and the hamster people really specialize in that. Really? I will play my human fighter. It is.
If it was something you were planning on finishing, I don't think I'd be like, I'm like, all right, well, fine, that's okay. But like, if I'm the only one, now there is an exception to that, and I will totally play a mysterious character. But that's like, that injects some party dynamic into the game that isn't like destructive.
Yeah. And party dynamic can be hard to manage.
It can be, and it's fun to set up, and when it works, that's great. I remember a game I was playing pretty recently with our old buddy Game Master Problems, Mr. David Gardner, where I was playing a dark elf character who was shrouded in robes and was secretly a wizard. And
or much longer ago with a game we played with Billy. You may know him from the wrestling podcast. I played a literal peasant who was secretly a wizard.
Well, and like, I was shrouded in robes, so nobody knew my character's race, nobody knew my character's gender, and I didn't do anything overt, so nobody knew I was a wizard. And that mystery bothered the shit out of somebody else's character in a fun way. They were like, what's that one up to? What's that one doing? I don't know if I like that. And I like that. That's interesting. It's an interesting way to just create some dynamism in your party, create some inner storylines that aren't the same old, same old. It's fun. It's part of the benefit you get of a larger group, I mean, in a smaller group, you kind of want everyone to pretty much just get along. They can have their own personal, the way their bridges are built, but when you're dealing with 2 or 3 people besides DM, it's best if they're cool. But once you get to 4, especially 5, even 6, more than that, you're asking for trouble.
Yeah, more than that, you don't look. 6 player characters is about as high as anyone ever wants to go.
I mean, I've done 8 before. 8 is my actual limit, not my theoretical limit. I tried 9. 9 is too many. Can't function on 9. because somebody always forgets their fucking role-playing, and the second we get into a battle, and their initiative rolls around, they're like, what am I playing again? And I'm like, what the shit are you? So, 8. 8 is the maximum for me. But, I know people who in, like, professional, role-playing games and shit who DM for, like, 13, 20 odd people.
Fuck that.
Yeah.
That sounds like hell.
Even with a co-DM, I wouldn't want to keep track of all that shit. That turns everything into crunch, which is basically the antithesis of my, preferences for role-playing games in general. I like stats and die rolling and shit. It's a very important part of the game. It's the game part. But I like characters and stories and talking about the action instead of just like, all right, Jeremy, looks like Thrognak, he rolled a hit. And please confirm the crit. Thank you. That is a successful crit. You did 19 points of damage. The ogre has, however, 21 health points, so you did not kill him. All right, let's move on to Mindy. Fuck that shit. That is the opposite of fun.
That's just not... Look, I could do that as a DM. I could totally do that. Wouldn't even be hard. But it wouldn't be fucking fun. And I'm in role-playing to have fun, even when I'm DMing. No.
Like, that same scenario for me.
To be honest with you, I think the most people I've ever DM'd for is 3?
No, you DM for like 4 or 5.
Yeah, I suppose, I have DM for 5 people.
We're playing, Star Wars games and shit.
Yeah, I would not want to do more than I've already done. 5, I think, would probably be, and any more than that, and, it just ceases to be fun. I cease to be able to give each character enough attention to enjoy myself DMing.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, it's complicated, the art of DMing. Much like this podcast.
Look, all I'm saying is, we made a joke at the beginning of the podcast, you may have seen the topic. I'm not sure that's what the topic's gonna be when you upload it.
I know what the topic's gonna be. The listener can already see it, so they're laughing because they got it at some point.
Well, fucking, I don't. I'd love to get it. Can I also have the joke?
I mean, after the podcast.
Okay, well then we're gonna end the podcast.
Title drop in the middle of this? Is that the kind of show we're running?
Doesn't have to be. I'm gonna end the podcast now so I can know the joke. Bye, everybody. Everything's better when nerds talk about it.
It'd be like if you said everything's better when 2 nerds talk about it.
Fuck it, let's get hot!